Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, listen to me carefully. Today is not just another day. Today is a day of awakening, a day of transformation, a day where you shift your mind, your heart, your spirit into the realm of greatness. I came here to tell you this. If you want to change your life, if you want to break free from mediocrity, if you want to stop playing small and start walking in your calling, you must learn to think like a genius. Now hold on. I'm not talking about being born a genius. I'm not talking about IQ tests, degrees, or being the smartest in the room. No, I'm talking about thinking like a genius, adopting the mindset, the habits, the work ethic, the vision that geniuses carry. Because when you learn to think like them, you'll learn to act like them. And when you act like them, you'll create like them, achieve like them, and impact the world like them. History is not written by those who played it safe. History is written by those who dared to think differently, by those who thought like geniuses. First things first. What separates a genius from everybody else? It's not always brains. It's not always talent. It's the way they see the world. Where most people see problems, a genius sees opportunities. Where most people stop at obstacles, a genius builds bridges. Where most people say, it can't be done, a genius says, watch me. Albert Einstein once said, imagination is more important than knowledge. Why? Because knowledge tells you what is, but imagination tells you what can be. And geniuses are fueled by imagination. When Steve Jobs looked at computers, he didn't just see machines, he saw a tool that could change how humans' lives work and connect. When Nikola Tesla looked at electricity, he didn't just see light bulbs, he saw the future of energy. When Oprah looked at television, she didn't just see entertainment, she saw a platform to inspire the world. Listen to me, genius is not about having something others don't. It's about using what you already have in a way others won't. You want to think like a genius. Start asking questions. Stop being satisfied with surface answers. Stop accepting things the way they are. Every genius is curious. They never stop learning, never stop questioning, never stop exploring. They're not afraid to look foolish because they know curiosity is the doorway to discovery. When Thomas Edison was creating the light bulb, he failed over 1,000 times. And when people laughed at him, he said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps. See, the average person stops at failure. The genius, they treat failure as information. They ask, what did this teach me? What's the next step? How do I adjust? Your curiosity must be bigger than your fear. Your hunger to learn must be greater than your pride. If you want to think like a genius, you've got to become a lifelong student. Let me tell you something, geniuses live in the future before the world catches up. They have vision. They see what others don't. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stood on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and said, I have a dream, not I have a plan, not I have a budget, not I have permission. He said, I have a dream. And that dream was a vision so powerful that it shook the foundation of a nation. Geniuses dream beyond their present circumstances. They don't let their environment limit their imagination. They may be broke, but they dream of abundance. They may be rejected, but they dream of influence. They may be alone, but they dream of impact. To think like a genius, you must see beyond what is into what could be. Your circumstances do not define your destiny. Your vision does. Now, let's keep it real. Genius is not just about creativity. It's about discipline. You think Mozart, Beethoven, or Michael Jordan became great by accident. No, they worked. They sacrificed. They practiced when nobody was watching. They pushed through exhaustion, rejection, and failure. Listen, talent will get you noticed, but discipline will make you unstoppable. Most people want the glory without the grind. They want the prize without the process. But genius lives in the process. The late nights, the early mornings, the sweat, the blood, the tears. That's where genius is built. When Kobe Bryant was asked why he trained so hard, he said, while you're sleeping, I'm working. While you're eating, I'm working. While you're partying, I'm working. That's genius thinking. If you want to think like a genius, you've got to master discipline, not motivation discipline. Motivation fades. Discipline remains. Let me be real with you. Geniuses are not people who never fail. They are people who never quit. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for TV. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Do you see the pattern? The world rejected them, but they didn't reject themselves. A genius doesn't stop because of rejection. They don't crumble under criticism. They rise. They keep going. They prove the doubters wrong. Write this down. A setback is not the end. It's a setup for a comeback. If you want to think like a genius, you've got to develop resilience. You've got to keep moving forward when the world tells you to stop. Now listen carefully. Geniuses are different. They don't fit in. They don't follow the crowd. They stand out. And here's the truth: the world will always resist what it doesn't understand. People will laugh at you, criticize you, doubt you. But that's the price of genius. When Elon Musk said he wanted to build rockets and colonize Mars, people thought he was crazy. When the Wright brothers said they would make humans fly, people mocked them. But today, you and I get on planes without even thinking about it. To think like a genius, you must have the courage to be misunderstood. You must be bold enough to walk alone if necessary. Because genius does not live in the comfort zone. It lives in courage. There's another word people don't like to hear: obsession. See, average people dabble. They try this today, that tomorrow. But geniuses, they're obsessed. They lock in. They give their all. They devote their life to their vision. When people called Michelangelo obsessed for spending years painting the Sistine Chapel, they didn't understand that obsession is what creates masterpieces. You can't think like a genius and live like the average. You can't chase greatness with half effort. You've got to be all in. All gas, no brakes. Ask yourself, what am I obsessed with? What dream am I willing to lose sleep for? What vision am I willing to be ridiculed for? Because that obsession, that's your genius calling. But let me be clear. Real genius is not selfish. Real genius serves others. Mother Teresa, Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, they weren't geniuses because of personal gain. They were geniuses because they changed lives, liberated people, gave hope to the hopeless. True genius is measured not by what you achieve for yourself, but by the impact you leave on others. You want to think like a genius? Stop asking, what can I get? And start asking, what can I give? Stop asking, how can I be remembered? And start asking, how can I serve? Your genius is not for you. It's for the world. So let me end with this: you are not ordinary. You were not born to live and die unnoticed. You were born with gifts, with potential, with purpose. The question is not whether you have genius inside you. The question is whether you will unlock it. To think like a genius, you must adopt the mindset of curiosity, vision, and courage. Embrace discipline, resilience, and obsession. Live not for yourself alone, but for service and legacy. Say it with me: I am a genius, not because of my IQ, not because of a degree, but because I choose to think differently, to act boldly, to live fully. When you walk out of this room, I want you to remember, greatness is not reserved for the chosen few. It is available to the committed few. And if you dare to think like a genius, you will live like one. Now, go. Think like a genius. Act like a genius. Live like a genius. And change the world.